Hey Lotuses, welcome to my channel. This is Lotus Magic. I am bringing you tonight your May 2019 Oracle Guidance message. And I want to first say that I'm happy to be back for the month of May. And I apologize if you've been looking for any new readings. I am still working out the tweaks of scheduling, trying to find time to work on my physical business while maintaining this channel. But perhaps it's all divine. Sometimes we can consume ourselves with readings, trying to find the answers without really focusing on doing the work. So hopefully, in between, this break, you've been really working on doing the work. If the last reading for Taurus, you Tauruses apply, you've been doing the work, and maybe this is just the divine um, allowing me to tap in and give you some updates that hopefully will keep you going on your journey. So I'm going to get right into the reading because I'm going to try not to keep these readings too long, because sometimes that can it drains it gets to be draining, and I am sometimes short on time. So I'm going to go ahead and get to this reading and keep it brief, but keep it um, hopefully beneficial. So your oracle guidance message comes from the God of healing, spiritual healing, and it says an aspect of your situation in your life is in need of healing. So Taurus, I'm just gonna say that overall, just with looking overall, with the overall energy the cards have given me, this is definitely a love reading, and some of you Taurus in the collective, again, if this resonates with you, good. If not, this message isn't for you. But some of you, Taurus in the collective, are struggling with healing after a breakup. And if you haven't totally broken up, you're struggling with letting go. But I feel like this is more of an ending. And I say that because for the month of May, Spirit says you need to focus your energy on completion, and nine represents the ending of a cycle. So I feel like for Tauruses that resonate with this reading, you really need to work on um, putting an end to your suffering. And I feel like Taurus in the collective, many Taurus in the collective are in a cycle of suffering after a breakup. And it's totally normal. But I think that Spirit wants you to now move from the suffering to forgiveness. And it's crazy that this message comes up because um, I did a post on my Instagram earlier, and it was based on a Bible verse, Mark chapter 11, chapter 11, verse 24, where it talks about um, asking the universe for what you want. And I'm giving you the short version, but understanding that you have to do this from a clean heart, like from a happy heart. And you have to not have any unforgiveness in your heart. So, a many Taurus are blocking what they want because I feel like many of you in the collective are like praying for a soulmate and someone who's going to love you, but you still haven't healed and forgiven your past situation, and it's blocking that manifestation. So you guys really need to start to work on healing and ending your cycle of suffering so that you can call in and manifest that soulmate. And a lot of what you're going through right now is just ego. It's really time to deal with your ego. So your chakra wisdom message that came up for the month of May is the soulmate card. Now, with this card here, this card tells the story of a couple, and this gentleman, as he always does after so much time, he tells her that he basically doesn't want to be with her anymore. And he's done this many times. And her normal response to that situation is, why are you doing this to me? Well, in this particular time in this story, when he does the same routine, um instead of her saying, why are you doing this to me, she says, I love you. And basically, I love you, and I'm go ahead, but just know that I love you. No hard feelings. And when she did that, he realized at that moment how much he loved her. So, what I'm saying by telling you that story is, could be that, um, for some of you, it could be a matter of that case where when a person knows they have the power to make you feel bad, they won't try to change. Okay? Um, so, but what I feel most strongly is that it's time to get out of victim mode. When she took herself out of victim mode, she was able to manifest the the reciprocation of love that she really wanted. So I feel like for many Tauruses, it's really time to end your cycle of suffering by forgiving and letting go in love. Not forgiving and letting go while still holding, a not a grudge, but you know, wanting to see that person suffer, wanting to, um, almost like cursing them. You know, it's kind of like when you say, well, I hope the same thing you did to me happens to you. No, that's because you're not really forgiving. When you truly forgive, you let go, and you let go of any desired outcomes that you have about that person, whether it's, I hope we get together back together, or I hope you know crash into a tree. So you really need to work on forgiveness. Overall, you need to work on forgiveness. Your inability to forgive, this person, that you were in a relationship, is actually blocking you from getting the and manifesting the soulmate that you really want. And um it's really because you need to take yourself out of victim mode and get your power back. Like, it's really a matter of getting your power back and understanding that, when you ask why you're doing this to me, 9 times out of 10, it's because the true answer is, it's because you let them. And again, just like in this story, this person has done this over and over again, whatever the issue may be, whether it's cheating, just in and out, just the problems in the relationship have been repetitive, and you've always taken them back. And so when you create that kind of dynamic in your relationship, you really are not a victim because you're allowing that person to treat you that way. And then it's almost like you're putting yourself through a cycle of abuse because you don't love yourself enough to say, I don't deserve this. But when you finally say, hey, I love you and I'll see you later, if that's what you want to do, when you kind of adopt that, if that's what you want to do, I respect it, I love you, I forgive you, because you already know that if you can't do it, there's somebody out there that will. So, don't let me hold you back, because I'm not going to hold myself back anymore. So it's really time to work on getting out of that victim mode and getting out of the cycle of suffering that this relationship has caused you, because you really need to heal. You are not going to manifest a soulmate if you haven't healed. You're not going to manifest anyone better if you're still holding on to any emotional attachment. And if you haven't forgiven, that means that there's some emotional attachment, okay? This person still has the ability to trigger you, even if it's just when you think about something that they said, it still can trigger you. So when you truly forgive, you're letting go of all those things that triggered you. You're wishing that person well. You're hoping that they find the love and abundance and peace and blessings, that whatever it is that they desire, because that's what you want in return. And that is what the universe will reciprocate to you when you are um, free and clear in your heart from any unforgiveness. So if you want to get a little deeper with that understanding, I would suggest you read um, Mark chapter 11, um, verse 24 to like 20 to 27, to kind of get the idea of the full story and the understanding of what it means to not have any forgiveness in your heart, and what that does. So I also took a look at what's blocking you, and this is why I say overall this cycle of suffering is overall just what's blocking you. If you have tried to move on from this situation, but you're just not manifesting anyone new in your life, it's because of this cycle of suffering that you're keeping yourself in. Your ego needs to be put in check. You've lost your power. Your solar plexus, you need to do some work with your solar plexus, because right now you're just not in your full power. So you've succumbed to the suffering. So we got the page of staffs. And in this deck, the page of staffs denotes someone who's like devoted. So I feel like you're really either you're like almost like you're devoted to the suffering, okay? Devoted to the victim mentality, and you're really not paying attention to the messages that are coming, and what actions you need to take. You're just not taking the necessary actions that you're supposed to, because you're just stuck in that cycle of suffering. It's your ego, okay? Your ego is like telling you things like you're not worthy. Um, your ego's just taking it. Your ego is bruised, and you really need to do some work with your ego to rebuild the confidence. So I'll just say that, like, your confidence is low right now, and so it's putting you in this cycle of suffering within the mind, so that you're not taking the necessary actions to do the healing that you need to really do to end that cycle of suffering. See, so even the way that it's laid out, you have the healing. The healing is going to end the cycle of suffering. Ending the cycle of suffering is going to give you the power to forgive and attract, and then attract. Okay, but you got to get out of this ego situation where you're like beating yourself up, and you're just not in your full power, and your confidence might be a little low, because maybe you've taken, like I said, you've gone back and forth in this situation, and it's like taken a lot out of you. So your ego's just kind of going through something right now. We also got the King of Swords here. And because the king, the swords is like a mental energy, but he's also holding a staff. So what this tells me is another block you're having is being able to make the decisions, like decisions. Your decision making is off, and because you're not making the decisions you need to make, you're not taking the actions you need to take. And again, we have that root chakra energy along with that solar plexus energy. So you're just not in your full like power, and your ego is really, it's almost like it's working against you. Sometimes our egos are sometimes like really powerful, and our ego doesn't necessarily want us to change. So it will definitely do its best to keep us in the suffering because that's how it stays in control. And you really need to overcome that ego issue. Whatever this relationship did to your ego, it's really time to let it go. You need to get your power back so that you can make decisions for yourself that are fair and not just what your ego desires, right? Your ego desires you to be suffering and um, pitiful and woe is me and a victim and all these things. But you know you deserve better. You need to get your ego in check so that you can make the proper decisions, fair decisions, and you need to do it fast so that you can do it fast, because you're lagging on the healing. So if you work on your solar plexus, really working on your confidence and your ego, when you know, try to work on those mental exercises. When you hear that negative self-talk, just say stop, and then balance that out with some positive self-talk. um, but really doing some solar plexus work, asking your guides and your angels and God and to come in and help you and give you and clear your energy, will definitely help. But because we have this Ten of Swords here, it's definitely like this is like why I say your power is just gone right now. Like, even if you let this person go and you didn't try to fight for the relationship, when they walked away, it was a lot of pain for you. You know, this relationship, the breakup has caused you a lot of pain, mentally and emotionally. Okay, you've been stabbed in the back, the butt, the legs, the calves, the feet. Like, how much more can you take? So, you're being blocked by this cycle of suffering and this cycle of depression because of this relationship, that you're literally blocking your ability to manifest. And so, when you forgive yourself, for one, forgive yourself for even tolerating a person who didn't give you their all, and not loving yourself to walk away sooner. Okay? Forgive yourself for not being able to decide more quickly and fairly for yourself that you deserve better. Forgive yourself, because when you forgive yourself, it's going to be 10 times easier to forgive the person who hurt you. And then it's going to lift all of this pain, okay? Because some of you may even be dealing with like physical pain because of this situation. Okay, but it's definitely emotional and it's definitely a mental thing. And so this is where your blocks are. Okay, decisions, um, ego, and the hurt and pain. This is what's blocking you from healing, ending your cycle of suffering, and manifesting a soulmate that's going to reciprocate what it is that you want. Okay, and now your healing insight message comes from Ahote crystal and the soulmate crystal. Like, this soulmate energy is coming up twice in this reading, which is like, I feel like many of you are really trying to manifest someone in your life that's going to be good to you, but you gotta do the work to heal. All right, the Ahote, and I'm hoping that I say it right. This is a a compassion crystal, and it's saying it's time to put down your burdens, knowing you are a being of light. That means it's time to let this go. It's time to give your burdens to God, to Jesus, to God, whatever your higher power, your angels, your ancestors. It's time to hand over those burdens because they're too much for you. And it's time for you to forgive those who wounded you. Okay, so like I said, overall, and this is really this is why I love these crystal healing insight messages, because they really do a lot of confirming for me when I'm giving my intuitive interpretation of a reading. But it's definitely confirming that lack of forgiveness is blocking your manifestation of a relationship that you really want. And you've got to end something to begin something. You can't start something and you're still holding on to your past and the hurt and the pain. Okay, you're not going to be able to manifest anything good. All right. Give someone a second chance. And I honestly don't feel like this is really about giving that person a second chance, but it if you know your situation, if a second chance is possible, once you do the healing and get out of this victim mode, take your power back and make decisions and demands that are fair for you in the relationship. Maybe it's a relationship that can be repaired. But if not, I feel like you need to give yourself another chance at finding some a relationship that's beneficial to you. All right, immersing yourself in the love of the divine automatically leads to health and happiness. And again, that's the forgiveness, handing your burdens over to God, trusting God, because here we have this King of Swords, this root chakra energy, working on those trust issues, feeling safe in the love that God has for you for now. And instead of looking for a physical love to make you feel safe. Like you need to feel that safety and that happiness within yourself before you're going to be able to manifest anyone in your life who's going to help um, make you happy. It starts with self. The soulmate crystal says you yearn to be loved, but does this come from a black hole you need to fill? So again, you're only going to manifest right now if the universe sent someone knocking to your door. With this energy that's on the table, you're going to manifest a partner from the spirit of your wounds, which means you'll be right back in the same negative cycle. This is why healing is important. This is why forgiving is important. This is why um, finding that happiness within yourself is important, because then you're going to attract that. Easier said than done, okay? Trust me, I know. So I'm not making this sound easy or anything like this. But this is just truth. It's time to, as this card also says, it's really time to face the truth and be honest with yourself. If you're not in a good place right now. So there really is no point in you trying to manifest anyone in your life. You need to heal. Old heartbreak needs to be healed. Ties with a past companion cut, or vows renegotiated. So you also need to do some cord cutting. I would definitely do some cord cutting, some energy cord cutting, because even if you're not with this person, their energy is still attached to you, which is why it is you are being triggered, and you're able to um, continue with the suffering. Okay. Um, and prepare yourself for open hearted, intimate, unconditional love. And this is what healing is going to do. Healing is going to prepare you for attracting the right soulmate. Okay. So you just need to focus your energy on healing. Okay. And understanding that you don't need anyone to make you feel complete. Because a lot of your suffering is feeling like you're incomplete because you don't have anyone, when you need to get to a level of completion within yourself. And then the universe is going to send someone to complement you. not complete you, but complement you. Okay, you're already good. You just need to heal and make yourself better, and then you're gonna attract the right cheese to go with the wine. Okay, so I hope this message was helpful. 25 minutes. I didn't plan on going this long, but hey, you know, I'm just doing God's work, and sometimes it takes a little bit to get it out. So I hope this helps. For those that resonate with this message, I wish you lots of peace, lots of blessings, and lots of healing. You can email me at lotusmagic17@gmail if you'd like a personal reading. All right, until next time, love and light.